Hey, Algebra 2. We're going to learn something called composition of functions. So last week, I had you recall what function notation was. So this is read f of x equals 2x minus 1. If I want to find f of 3, that means wherever I see an x, now I'm going to plug 3 in its spot. So f of 3 equals 6 minus 1 equals 5. So I would leave it like this in function notation. This just simply says when x equals 3, the value of your function equals 5. So this week we're going to expand upon this, and instead of plugging in one single number, we're going to plug in an entire function. So it could either be written like this, where it looks like fog. This O is the composition. It will normally look like this, f of g of x. So this is just simply called composition of functions. And there you're going to sub, in this case, g of x into your main f of x function. Whatever letter comes first, that's your main function that you're going to use. And then whatever is here, that is what you're going to sub into your main one. So the first thing that we really need to do is change it from looking like fog into this traditional function notation. So if the f comes first, we're going to write this as f of g of x. And that is just simply by definition. Whatever letter comes first, that is your main function. Your f is your main function, which in this case is going to be 2x minus 4. All right, so this says take that f function and I want you to sub g of x into it. So I'm going to write negative 4x plus 3. So we'll make g of x red today. So this is what you're going to sub in place of x into that main equation that you used. So I keep everything else. I keep my 2. I need to use parentheses since I'm subbing 2 terms in place of that 1. All right, so what did I just there? Let's see, so f is your main function. And then I also did step 3. I plugged my g function in for x. So that's what all I have done so far. Now what I'm about to do is I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to distribute the 2 into my parentheses equals negative 8x plus 6, and then bring down your minus 4. And then CLT stands for combined like terms. So I do have these two just regular old numbers. And so I'm going to combine them, and I get negative 8x plus 2. So whatever letter comes first is going to be your main one. And so now we've taken it and we've reversed it. Now we're going to find g of f of x. So I'm going to practice rewriting it as g of f of x. So this time g comes first. So that's my main function I'm going to use. And let's see, G is red, so that's my main one this time. So that's negative 4x plus 3. Now I'm going to put in parentheses what my f function is. So your f function is 2x minus 4. So I'm going to plug this in place of x right there. So I keep everything else. I keep my negative 4. In place of the x, you're going to sub in negative 2 or 2x minus 4, and then bring down your plus 3. Now I'm going to distribute my negative. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8x. Negative 4 times negative 4 gives me a plus 16. I'm going to combine like terms now, and I get negative 8x plus 19. So it's just simply a matter of knowing what is your main function you're using and what are you going to plug in its place. So whatever letter comes first, that is your main function that you're going to use. So that's the first thing I did. Figure out what your main function is and then write it over here. And then whatever function goes in its spot, I always write it down there. And then that just says, hey, now in place of x, instead of just plugging in like a single number like I'm used to doing, now I have to plug in a whole function. So that's why the 2x minus 4 went in its spot. Let's try another one. This one is a little bit more challenging because we have a quadratic. So I'm going to start off by rewriting this as f of g of x. F comes first, that's my main function. So my main function is going to be x squared plus 4. The g function is x plus 1. So that's what I'm going to sub in place of x right there. So I have x plus 1 squared plus 4. So you have to remember, anytime you're plugging two terms in place of one, you need to use parentheses. So I have this x plus 1 quantity squared. So I'm going to do some work off to the side. Anytime you take something and you square it, that's the same thing as multiplying it by itself. So I'm going to start by rewriting it as x plus 1 times x plus 1. So now I have two terms times two terms, and I'm going to have to multiply, distribute, FOIL, whatever it is you call it. So x times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1x. Move and distribute the 1. 1 times x is 1x. And 1 times 1 is 1. I need to combine like terms, so I end up with x squared plus 2x plus 1. So that's x squared plus 2x plus 1. Bring down your plus 4 from the original problem. And now I have these two like terms. And so when I combine like terms, I get x squared plus 2x plus 5. When I go the other direction, so the g comes first. So I have g of f of x. The g comes first, so that says that's my main function. So my main function this time is x plus 1. The f function is x squared plus 4. That is what I'm going to sub in place of x. So this one, it turns out, is much easier because that's just a plain old x. I don't have to square it. I don't have to distribute. I don't have to do anything. You do always have to remember to bring down that 1. I'm going to combine like terms, and I get x squared plus 5. So when you're using functions and you change which letter comes first, you should never get the same answer. If you're getting the same answer, that should probably be a red flag that something is a little bit off. Backside. So now we're going to sub a number. Now we have a number, not just a function. So here's how you do these. We're going to start at the inside and work your way out. So this says, find out the value of g of 3. What number do you get when g equals 3? And then we're going to take that answer and then we're going to plug it in place of f. So the first thing I'm going to do is g of 3. So my g function is x squared. So I need to plug that in place of x. So that gets me 3 squared. So g of 3 equals 9. So now you take whatever that answer is, and I want to figure out what is f of 9. So now my f function, let's see, I have 3 functions up here today. My f function is x minus 5. So now I'm plugging 9 in place of x, and do your order of operations, and you get 4. So we start at the inside, and we're going to work our way out. Number 2. First thing I'm focused on is my f function. I want to find out what is f of negative 2. So your f function is x minus 5. I'm going to plug negative 2 in place of x. Negative 2 minus 5 equals negative 7. So this says, now you need to plug that number into the h function. So h of negative 7. So your h function is your 2x plus 4. So whatever number you get here, that follows into the next step, and I'm plugging that in place of my x. So I have 2 times negative 7 plus 4. Negative 14 plus 4 is negative 10. Ooh, this time I have a letter. So we still follow the same pattern. Start at the inside and work your way out. So I'm going to use my h function. And when I look up above, the h function is 2x plus 4. This says plug 3a in place of your x. So then when I take 2 times 3a, I get 6a plus 4. All right. Now it says take this answer and plug it into your g function. So now I'm using my g function. And my g function is x squared. So remember, anytime that you plug 2 terms in place of 1, you're going to need to use your parentheses. So we did one of these earlier. Anytime you square something, that's the same thing as multiplying it